Let's talk about Trump and whatever everyone's political beliefs are. The question, objectively, is how is Trump going to affect the real estate market? And I heard Matthew Gardner talk about this, which I thought was very interesting, where Trump is very pro deregulation, right? And so one of our biggest issues,
Right.
as you know,
Right.
especially here in Washington, is that it is dang hard. They have way too much staff.
It's such
That
a
makes
pain.
it so difficult for you to get any permitting for anything, right?
Yeah, I'm in that process right now, actually.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it-
You're
it-
building a home right now.
It's that is actually one of the reasons why I think home prices get propped up in states like this, because it's so hard to push new inventory. But yeah, please go ahead.
It's very true, and I think that will help right now. Okay, so the main issue, the reason why our prices are so high and why it's probably not going to drop is because we have no inventory. The bigger problem is that our developers, our builders are not building enough inventory. So with Trump coming in, he's talking about deregulation. That could help us build more homes, more needed homes, because we absolutely do need homes. The other thing, the tariffs. I'm sure everyone has seen what's been going on with tariffs, but an interesting point is that a third of our materials actually come from imports. A third
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, okay, so let's talk about a couple things here. A third of our materials come from imports, but then these builders, obviously their borrowing costs are going to be more because they have to get more loan, right, in order to build some of these homes, because these material costs are now going to be bigger. I mean, I don't know where people stand with this, but what they say is because Trump is imposing these very large tariffs, they're saying that they're going to bill that back to the buyer, the consumer, right? And so with a third of, the materials coming from outside, that's probably going to affect the developers and how much they'll have to borrow. And then the other thing is labor costs, right? And so they say 31% of the builders' workers are immigrants. And
Yeah.
you know what's going to happen with, with how they're fighting against, illegal immigrants and this and that. It will affect the building costs, the labor costs, and the material costs. So they are saying, maybe they have a different plan around this, but they are saying that because these costs are going up, that builders are not dumb. You have clear numbers. They're not just people who are just making a bunch of money, rich, and just, living on their yachts. No, they actually do have costs. They have to actually run a good project, but if there's no margins, they're not going to build homes. So that's the other side of like, okay, we're going to deregulate, but at the same time, with all these rising costs, that's going to affect inventory again. And then of course, mortgage rates, because Trump is all about spending, and then more spending means more debt. More debt means more financing and borrowing, and then this could cause bond yields to rise, and of course that also hurts mortgage rates. So they are saying that Trump's spending could also affect mortgage rates in a negative way, in the sense that mortgage rates could rise. So it's interesting how, like, again, these are all theoreticals because we don't know what's actually going to happen in the office. He hasn't even taken office, but that is kind of what they're thinking about Trump's impact.